Welcome back, crime fighters. It's time for another edition of Calhoun County's Most Wanted, the program where you get to help make Calhoun County a better and safer place for all of us by helping us lock up the bad guys. I'm your host, Chris Wright, along with Chief Deputy Matthew Wade from the Calhoun County Sheriff's Office.
Another great week, Chris.
This is a really good week because it's law enforcement week.
When you got a week after what you do for a living, it's got to be good.
Yeah.
So we're really excited about law enforcement week.
How are we celebrating?
Well, tonight.
With donuts?
And coffee. Okay. Don't forget the coffee. It's important. You got to have both. You know, we get that a lot, but you know, we call that cop fuel.
There you go.
Donuts. And if anybody wants to bring me some, we'll eat them.
Mm-hmm. This week or any other week?
This week or any other week. But this week we're starting off tonight, Tuesday night at 8 o'clock with a candlelight vigil at Centennial Park in Anniston, right there next to the fire station in the Piggly Wiggly. And Friday night we'll have the actual memorial at 6 p.m. and you know, everybody's welcome. And it is a solemn event. It's something that we do to try to honor those that's fallen in our county. Also nationally, just take time to reflect, and people ought to know that this past week has been exceptionally deadly to law enforcement officers. There's been 4 or 5 officers killed, including
Birmingham.
One in Birmingham. And nobody's ever promised a day. We never know what day is our day, but when you're in law enforcement, those odds go up. And you know, it's just, past week's been really deadly, and we just want to take time out to honor those that's fallen, but also to take pride in what we do for a living and to encourage each other, because even though many officers aren't killed in the line of duty, they deal with daily stress with, you know, when you're in law enforcement, always at least half the parties you deal with are not happy, and sometimes more than that.
Right.
So, you know, it's a tough job, and it's just a good way to encourage each other and show support and pride and honor. And so we do that this week.
All right. And the law enforcement memorial on Friday, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to be there this year. I've been the MC for several years, but I'm going to be out of town this time. But my friend Tex Carter is going to be doing that, and he'll do a great job.
I'm sure he will, and you know, we'll do the best we can to honor those that's fallen in recent years in Calhoun County, and a lot of their families will be there, and it's just something we do to honor them.
Well, let's honor the folks who have called in information. What have we done this week?
All right, part of our team this week is 12 arrests, a dozen people. Last week I threw down the gauntlet and said I want to get enough people in here that we fill the screen up or get more than the screen would handle, and we're moving towards that way. A dozen people arrested, totals 3,081 people put behind bars, all because of you.
It's just absolutely amazing what the viewers of this program do every week. When we first started, it was, you know, 2 or 3, maybe 5 or 6. That would be great.
They have never let us down.
Not a single week.
Not a single week. But right now they are showing out with 12 arrests, and we really appreciate your help, and we couldn't do it without you. It's a team effort.
We've got something very important coming up in about 2.5 weeks, and that would be the primary elections. And we've got somebody to talk about that in just a few minutes, somebody who is going to be playing a very important role in that. That's probate judge Alice Martin, so we'll be talking to her when we come back right after the first half of this week's lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
Congratulations, Sheriff Amerson, John Garlick, and Matthew Wade, my friends, for 10 years of Calhoun County's Most Wanted and over 3,000 arrests. Way to go, guys.
Congratulations, Calhoun County's Most Wanted and Crime Stoppers, for 10 great years. And thank you to the citizens of Calhoun County for putting 3,000 people behind the bars. Yay!
Looking for a new or used vehicle? AOD Federal Credit Union can help. We offer low interest rates and financing terms to work with your budget. We can save you time and money, whether it's at one of our convenient office locations or through one of our participating dealers. Visit an office, call, or head to AODFCU.com to get your best deal now. Low auto loan rates, always at AOD Federal Credit Union. Certain restrictions may apply to obtain.
Amazing grace.
How sweet the sound that saved
a crackhead, drug addict, alcoholic, meth freak, a rich like me.
I once was
homeless,
broken, sad,
just lost. But now I am sober,
happy.
I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Every day, shattered lives are restored thanks to the goods you donate to the Salvation Army.
Hi, I'm Katina Houston with Family Links, and this is the Parenting Tip of the Week. If your home is anything like mine, mealtimes can sometimes be very stressful. Between the sit still, eat your vegetables, stop smacking, and yes, you do have to eat that, mealtimes can become somewhat unpleasant. So how can we make mealtimes more pleasant? First, don't run a restaurant. Make one meal, but offer options as to how to have it served. When most of us were kids, we ate what was put in front of us, and there was never any ambivalence from our parents about any other options. Therefore, we ate. 2, make dinner conversation enjoyable. This should be happy conversation time. This is the time to share ideas and tell stories. This is an opportunity to have that quality time we hear so much about but often don't have time to pursue. 3, teach good table manners at home, and your children will use good manners in public. If you wouldn't think it funny to have your child display his mouthful of food to your host at a dinner party, I suggest not letting him get away with it at home. And 4, relax your attitude about food. The more focus and attention you place on eating habits, the more of a battleground food will become. Kids can thrive eating the same foods over and over and avoiding anything new and different. The routine of a healthy after-school snack can ward off any kinds of battles. And when healthy options are available, that's what kids will eat, healthy food. So, encourage your children to become involved in the meal planning and preparation. It will motivate them to eat what's served, and it will teach them valuable skills that will enrich their lives. You will probably be pleased to see that they actually enjoy helping in the kitchen. For more information on parenting tips and ideas, please contact Family Links at 256-820-5911.
Edition of Calhoun County's Most Wanted. First up this week, Cedric Young. Mr. Young, last known to be living in Odenville. He's wanted for bond revocation on robbery first. And meet Kimberly Braca. Miss Braca, last known to be living in Anniston. She's wanted for probation revocation on trafficking in illegal drugs. And this is Donna Akers. Miss Akers, last known to be living in Anniston. She's wanted for failure to appear on possession and receipt of a controlled substance. And take a look at Kenneth James. Mr. James, last known to be living in Jacksonville. He's wanted for failure to appear on burglary third. And we'd like you to meet Nathaniel Manor. Mr. Manor, last known to be living in Jacksonville. He's wanted on probation revocation on possession and receipt of a controlled substance ×2. And here is Matthew Lamberth. Mr. Lamberth, last known to be living in Ohatchee. He's wanted for failure to appear on use and possession of drug paraphernalia. And here is Ashley Walker. Miss Walker, last known to be living in Gadsden. She's wanted on probation violation for unlawful distribution of a controlled substance. And last up for our first half, meet Melissa Smith. Miss Smith, last known to be living in Anniston. She's wanted for probation violation on theft of property second. And that's it for the first half of our lineup. Stay tuned for the second half later in the show.
We are not out of bad guys. We got more we'll talk about here in just a few minutes, but right now we are joined by Alice Martin, the probate judge for Calhoun County, and it is good to see you as always.
Thank you.
All right.
I appreciate y'all having me on. I think this is important, what we're doing today, to let our viewers know about elections this year.
It's always important to get, we hear these stories from other countries where they talk about an election and whether or not it was a real election, and in North Korea, where every single person in the country plus a few voted for the same person. That, in this country it's not that way.
That's right.
Obviously there's always going to be some question of validity in every area a little bit. Somebody's going to do something wrong. But we do have real elections in this country, and that's something we always want to have.
We do, and I think that they are run fairly and generally go very smoothly. And but this year's a busy year for us. We've got the June 3rd primaries. Then July 15th, we will also have a runoff election, and even if we do not have any candidates in a runoff, we will be having that election.
How does that work?
I know, and we've just learned of this, but there will be a constitutional amendment on that ballot. Okay. And so, and of course we'll give you some information about that as the date rolls around, so you can post it on the screen for folks to see.
Right, but first of it, we're just 2.5 weeks away from the primary.
Sure, and then of course we want people to note November 4th as the general election date, not to forget that. But if you're not registered to vote at this point, you still have time to get registered to vote. You can do that up to 10 days before an election. And you need to do that. If you're a Calhoun County voter, you need to go to the Board of Registrars at the Ken Joyner Administration Building and see the nice folks in the Board of Registrars, and they will get you signed up to vote in the June primary.
Let's talk just real briefly
Okay.
about primary versus general election, because sometimes we assume we're close to these things. We assume that everybody knows exactly what it is, but there are plenty of people that don't know the real differences.
Well, in the primaries, it is truly the party's elections, and the voter would have to go into the polling place and state which ballot they choose to vote, and they have to tell the poll worker that.
Which is Republican or Democrat.
That's
you
correct.
You have to pick one or the other, and that's one of the biggest problems. People say, well, that's none of your business, or I don't have to choose, and
that's right.
Primaries you do.
Yeah, but when you make that choice, you're not making a choice that's going to be with you for the rest of your life. You're making a choice of how you're voting in that election, right?
Yes, and that's Alabama law. I know in other states it can be different, but in Alabama you can choose, you know, which party you wish to vote in primaries. And there are no write-ins allowed in primaries, which we are thankful for. Those of us who are in charge of elections are very thankful.
Those are a lot harder to count, aren't they?
It is. And then, of course, in the general election, those who won their primary elections will be on the ballot in November.
And of course, some of the cases, it will be over pretty much after the primary because there's nobody running either as a Republican or as a Democrat. Maybe we got 2 people, 3 people running for Republican, but nobody on the Democratic side or vice versa. So whoever wins that party is in effect the winner of the race, barring a write-in, which almost never happens.
That's true. And one thing that the voters need to know, I think is important, if a candidate does not have a party opponent, then they will not be on the ballot in the primary. You know, if they have no party opponent right now, then they won't be on the ballot in the primary. They'll be on the ballot in November.
So if you don't see somebody's name, I thought
Don't
Joe
panic.
was running. Well,
That's
yeah,
right.
he's going to be there in November. There's just nothing to decide right now because
That's
there's nobody else running for that party nomination.
That's exactly right. I do want to tell the viewers about some polling place changes that they should know about. In Calhoun County, we have 45 actual polling locations, and that has changed this year. We had more. We had 49, but the polling places which are no longer going to be used are Piedmont National Guard Armory, Piedmont Community Building, Moore Avenue Church of Christ, and Church of the Covenant Presbyterian.
So if you voted in one of those in the last election, it's changed.
That's right. You will have received a postcard from the Board of Registrars telling you your new polling location. If you haven't received a postcard and you normally vote at one of those locations, contact the Board of Registrars, and that phone number is 256-241-2822. And they can tell you where you are supposed to vote. Now, March 14th, the voters list will be published as required by law in the newspaper. So there will be many names in the newspaper on March 14th, and they are listed under polling locations. So you can check out the newspaper and see where you are supposed to vote if you get a newspaper, or
You still
make
have
a
the
point
March
of that.
14th copy?
I don't.
I'm so sorry, I meant May.
May 14th.
I'm so
okay.
sorry.
All right.
May 14th. Thank you for correcting me. It's May 14th, and
Okay.
it's,
Okay.
yeah, it will come out tomorrow.
So that, that
Yeah.
one's ready to have. So
Yeah.
how long have we got at that point to get registered?
You have 10 days before an election before it's cut off.
So if we see our name on there, we need to hurry up.
No, if your name is on the list
Yeah,
in
if
the
we don't see
newspaper,
our name on there.
yeah, then that's where you are to go to vote, that polling place.
You got 10 days or less to get registered, because today's Tuesday, the 13th, it's 3 weeks from the day. So you know, if you've got 10 days, it's a cutoff limit. You know, you only got a little over a week, and you throw in Saturday and Sunday. You need to make that happen.
That's right.
Well, we need to take a break, but we've got some other things that we want to talk to you about.
Thank you.
We'll be back in just a few moments. We'll have the second half of this week's lineup and more about the elections here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
Congratulations on Calhoun County Most Wanted and Crime Stoppers for 10 years on the air and 3,000 arrests.
Congratulations to Calhoun County's Most Wanted, 10 years on the air, and the Crime Stoppers for their 3,000 arrests. Great job, guys. Keep up the good work.
Amazing grace.
How sweet the sound that saved
A crackhead, drug addict, alcoholic, meth freak, a wretch like me.
I once was.
homeless,
broken, sad,
Just lost.
but now I am.
Sober.
happy.
I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Every day, shattered lives are restored thanks to the goods you donate to the Salvation Army.
Looking for a new or used vehicle? AOD Federal Credit Union can help. We offer low interest rates and financing terms to work with your budget. We can save you time and money, whether it's at one of our convenient office locations or through one of our participating dealers. Visit an office, call, or head to AODFCU.com to get your best deal now. Low auto loan rates, always at AOD Federal Credit Union. Certain restrictions may apply. To obtain additional details and cost information, call 1-800-637-0299 or visit AODFCU.com. Federally insured by the NCUA.
I'm Calhoun County Sheriff Larry Amerson. Don't risk your life and the lives of others by texting while driving. Put the phone down or safely pull over. Looking down for 1 second is all it really takes. Is it really worth it?
And welcome to the second half of our lineup. First up this half, William Bullock. Mr. Bullock, last known to be living in Piedmont. He's wanted on probation violation for burglary. Third. And take a look, if you will, at Benjamin Miller. Mr. Miller, last known to be living in Birmingham. He's wanted for possession of a forged instrument. Second. And here is Philip Haywood. Mr. Haywood, last known to be living in Lincoln. He's wanted for probation violation on a violation of a domestic violence protection order. And this is Jonathan Simmons. Mr. Simmons, last known to be living in Ohatchee. He's wanted on bond revocation for burglary, third, and domestic violence, third assault. Take a look at Tony Cargill. Mr. Cargill, last known to be living in Verbena. He's wanted for failure to pay child support, the faith of a deadbeat dad. And this is Frederick Grant. Mr. Grant, last known to be living in Fayette. He's also wanted for failure to pay child support. And last up this week in our lineup, Jeffrey Woods. Mr. Woods, last known to be living in Fultondale. He's wanted for failure to pay child support. Another deadbeat dad. And that's our lineup this week. If you have any information on these folks, please give us a call at Crime Stoppers 256-238-1414.
And we've got some more bad guys for you here in just a little while. Actually, not bad guys, but some crimes. We haven't identified the bad guys yet, and we want your help doing that with the Crime Stoppers segment of the show in just a few minutes. But right now we're talking with Alice Martin, probate judge for Calhoun County, getting ready for the election.
Right.
We talked a little bit about a few of the polling places having changed, but we've got some other changes as well.
That's right. This year we are using a new voting machine, and I really think the voters are going to be pleased with them. They're much more user-friendly, and the main difference is when you complete your ballot and you feed it into the machine, the machine screen reads if something is wrong with your ballot. You can read on the screen rather than looking at a tape, the printout tape. You can see on the screen what you might need to do, and you can reject your ballot, and we can spoil your ballot and then give you a new one if something is seriously wrong.
Is it just going to show a potential problem, or is it going to show up exactly who you voted for and everything on the screen?
No, that it won't show that. It reads like, for instance, if you've overvoted, if you have voted in the same race for two people and you feed in your ballot, it will say you have overvoted.
So that wouldn't count for either one of them.
Right, so you would want to hit the screen and get your ballot back, hand it to the poll worker. They will spoil your ballot for you and give you another one. And but it's just much more user friendly. The poll workers are going to appreciate it, and so will the voters.
Now, it's not going to be some big flashing light and an alarm. This person screwed up their ballot.
No, no, not at all. And if you meant to do that, you can touch the screen and say accept as is. So, you know, it's very user friendly. And I've been to 3 training sessions and have another one on Saturday with just the machines. And of course, we are getting our poll workers and our inspectors ready. We have 320 some odd poll workers that work the elections, and these folks go to training, and you know, it's a major undertaking, but they really love what they do, and we appreciate them so much because they're really providing a service.
Now, Matthew, I hope you got your picture ID ready because that's new this year.
I do have my picture ID.
Good, and I need to address that if you don't mind, and I want to provide you with the types of valid photo IDs that will be accepted. This is the first election since the law changed. Act 2011-673 requires now, beginning with this election, that the Alabama voter have a photo ID when they go to vote. If you have a valid Alabama driver's license, a valid Alabama non-driver ID, a valid state-issued ID, valid federal-issued ID, valid U.S. passport, a valid employee ID from federal government, state, county, municipality, board, or entity of Alabama, or a valid student or employee ID from any public or private college or university in the state of Alabama, valid military ID, valid tribal ID. Those types of photo IDs will be accepted at the polls. If you do not have one of those forms of ID, then you are eligible for a free Alabama voter ID card. And you can get you can apply for one of these at the Board of Registrars. Again, that phone number is 256-241-2930, and they are open from 8 to 4:30 Monday through Friday, and they're really glad to help with that.
And you don't need to waste any time on that, do you?
No, go as soon as you can to get your free ID. Now, the Secretary of State has mobile units. Some of you may have seen some of these mobile units out in rural communities where you can go and get a free voter ID. But make sure that you do this if you don't have a valid voter ID of some sort, as I just stated.
All right. Now, we need to take a break again. Normally, we would be coming back and doing our Crazy Criminal of the Week, but this is very important stuff, and we still got a little bit more to talk about. So
thank you.
We're going to come back. We'll have the Crime Stoppers segment of the show and just a little bit more with Alice Martin here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
Congratulations to Calhoun County's Crime Stoppers and the Most Wanted program that airs on the TV all the time, and for being on the air for 10 years, and also for arresting over 3,000 people. Great job, guys.
More than half of kids 12 to 17 years old have personal web pages, videos, or blogs. It's called social networking. As a parent, you should be monitoring your child's web pages. Find out the name of their site and go to it at least 3 times a week. Check for inappropriate material, for pictures, comments, and messages. Make sure your child doesn't post their personal information. Software is available to help you monitor your child's internet use. I'm Calhoun County Sheriff Larry Amerson. For more information, log on to our website or call the number on your screen.
Amazing grace.
How sweet the sound that saved
A crackhead, drug addict, alcoholic, meth freak, a wretch like me.
I once was
homeless,
broken, sad,
Just lost.
but now I am.
Sober.
happy.
I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Every day, shattered lives are restored thanks to the goods you donate to the Salvation Army.
Looking for a new or used vehicle? AOD Federal Credit Union can help. We offer low interest rates and financing terms to work with your budget. We can save you time and money, whether it's at one of our convenient office locations or through one of our participating dealers. Visit an office, call, or head to AODFCU.com to get your best deal now. Low auto loan rates, always at AOD Federal Credit Union. Certain restrictions may apply. To obtain additional details and cost information, call 1-800-637-0299 or visit AODFCU.com. Federally insured by the NCUA.
And welcome to the Crime Stoppers portion of our show, where we ask you to put on your deer stalkers and help our investigators with these cases. So break out a pad and pencil. You've got a long list this week. First up, on May 5th, this residence on Short Street in Oxford was broken into. They got away with some cash and electronics. And on May 5th, this red 2006 Honda Rancher was stolen from a residence on Old Davistown Road in Anniston. And also on May 5th, the I-20 Bingo Hall located on Martin Luther King Drive in Hobson City was broken into. Video surveillance revealed a black male busting a hole in the cinder block, then entering the building. The black male was wearing a black leather jacket, black pants, and white tennis shoes. A safe, currency, and $45 Walmart gift cards were stolen. On May 6th, 12 gasoline pumps were stolen from this location on Highway 204 in Wellington. And on May 7th, an unknown suspect or suspects attempted to break into the Mount Olive Fire Department on Boiling Springs Road in Ohatchee. Nothing has been reported stolen at this time. And sometime between April 1st and May 1st, a white 1999 HSM TDR cargo trailer was stolen from Sachs Baptist Church located on Highway 431 in Anniston. And on May 10th, the red Troy-built riding lawnmower was stolen from this residence on Airport Road in Oxford. And sometime on May 10th, the yellow and white Cub Cadet riding lawnmower was stolen from this residence on Old Anniston-Gadsden Highway in Ohatchee. And last up on your caseload this week, on May 11th, a white 2000 Ford Windstar van and a black 1997 Chevrolet Malibu were set on fire. Both vehicles were parked at a residence on Bruce Street in Hobson City. Now, if you know anything about these cases, please give Crime Stoppers a call at 256-238-1414. Remember, we want your information and not your name.
All right, it's almost time to say goodbye, but before we do, Alice Martin, our probate judge, has been talking about the election. What else do we need to know?
If you want to see a sample ballot, I've brought some today for you all to post on the screen, but you can go to Calhoun County's website. It's calhouncounty.org, and there's an icon to click on that will tell you all about absentee voting. And there is also an icon that will pull up sample ballots for you to review.
You can see it before you go down and make sure that you know what you're looking at.
Absolutely. And again, I want to correct myself. The voters list will be printed May 14th in the Anniston Star if you want to check to make sure you are a registered voter and check your polling location. The Board of Registrars can assist you if you are unsure of where you need to vote. And certainly we are there to help at the probate office. Our number is 256-241-2825.
Judge Martin, thank you very much.
Thank you.
You've got a busy time ahead of you. Good luck with all that, and we
Thank
appreciate
you.
you taking time to be with us. And again, don't forget, if you're going to be out of town on June 3rd, absentee ballots are available. Just go down to the administration building, and you can take care of that before you go off on your summer vacation with the family or wherever it is that you're going to be. We thank you for your time here on the program today, and we will be looking for you again next week, but hopefully not in the lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.